If I told you that, well, you also have a secret identity, one that could help you become a stronger version of yourself in really critical moments, would you believe me?
Sounds a bit like a comic book, maybe.
It does. But today we're diving deep into this incredible psychological tool known as the alter ego. Our mission is to unpack Todd Herman's best-selling book, The Alter Ego Effect. It kind of reveals the secret to unleashing your inherent heroic self right when the pressure is highest.
And we should probably establish right away, this isn't about being fake or, putting on some kind of facade.
Right, that's important.
Herman's whole idea is based on the fact that your core self, well, it already contains basically every capability, skill, and trait you actually need.
Okay.
The alter ego is more like an intentional psychological mechanism. Think of it like a necessary shield.
A shield? Against what?
Against the stuff that usually stops us, right? Fear, anxiety, self-doubt, self-sabotage, all that. It helps you pull out the traits you already own, but maybe they're just lying dormant right now.
Okay, let's unpack this. The book uses a great anecdote that really sets the stage for how powerful this shift can be. We have to talk about Bo Jackson.
Oh yeah, legendary athlete.
Absolutely. A two-sport legend, all-star in both baseball and football. I mean, immense physical talent, just undeniable.
Totally undeniable. But the research, and Herman points this out, it highlights this powerful contradiction off the field, and sometimes even on it. Bo Jackson struggled a lot with anger, lack of control.
Really? I didn't know that part.
Yeah, even minor things could make him lose his focus. It really interfered with his performance when he needed that discipline the most.
Wow. Okay, so what changed?
Well, until one night he was watching a horror film, Friday the 13th.
Okay. Bit of a strange inspiration source.
Maybe. But the character, Jason Voorhees, cold, emotionless, relentless. Herman writes that something clicked for Go. He decided right then, I'm not Bo Jackson anymore, I'm Jason.
Whoa. Yeah. So on the field, he just became Jason.
Yeah. That was the idea. That transformation let him focus all that amazing talent without the hot-headed emotional stuff that defined Bo.
So he wasn't the frustrated guy anymore.
Exactly. On the field, he was Jason, disciplined, focused, and honestly, pretty destructive to anyone playing against him.
But hang on, borrowing the identity of a cold, emotionless killer. I mean, that seems a bit risky, doesn't it? Yeah. How do you make sure those traits, especially maybe darker ones, stay only on the field?
That's a really, really crucial point, and Herman is very clear about this. It's the essential caveat.
Okay.
The alter ego must be confined to what he calls the field of play. You said boundary rules.
Boundary rules.
Yeah. So Jason's traits, that cold, relentless focus that was strictly for the game, business only. The alter ego is temporary, it's situational, you activate it when the stakes are high, and you retire it when the job is done.
Okay, that makes sense.
And this whole process, this channeling, that's what Herman calls the phone booth moment.
Right, like the classic image, Clark Kent ducking into a phone booth, changing into Superman.
Yes.
It's that very clear act of stepping into a different identity to unleash your power just for a bit, leaving Clark's worries and inhibitions behind.
Exactly. And it leads to a really important question for you listening right now. What if you could consciously design your own phone booth moment?
And Herman argues we absolutely can, by moving from what he calls the trapped self to the heroic self.
And the psychology behind this is fascinating. The trapped self, he says, lives in the ordinary world.
The ordinary world, okay.
Yeah, that's the version of you that gets stuck in anxiety or self-judgment or maybe resistance. The book explains why just like willpower or telling yourself be logical often fails here.
Why is that?
Because when we face what he calls a moment of impact, a big challenge, high stakes, our brain often registers that pressure as a threat, like deep down. And we revert to these unconscious coping mechanisms. He uses this analogy of a tiny mouse trying to direct rampaging elephants.
Okay, I can picture that. The elephants are the emotions.
Exactly. Our logic, the mouse, just can't control that overwhelming emotional reaction in the moment.
So if the trapped self is our rational mind just getting swamped by emotion, how does the alter ego actually help?
It creates psychological distance. That's the key.
Distant.
Instead of your core self saying, oh no, I hope I don't choke or I shouldn't choke, the alter ego basically steps in and says, I am not someone who chokes. That's not what I do.
It's a shift in identity, not just willpower.
Precisely. You can't really reason your way out of an unconscious problem like fear taking over. But you can shift your identity to kind of bypass it.
Okay.
So when you activate the alter ego, you're intentionally stepping into the extraordinary world. That's where the heroic self lives, confident, focused, fully capable, because it's protected by this psychological armor.
It really does make sense that high performers often do this naturally, maybe without even calling it an alter ego. Like Beyonce, right?
Oh, absolutely. Great example. She grew up in a pretty religious family. And then when her career took off and she started performing more suggestive, provocative stuff in front of huge crowds, she felt this massive internal conflict, guilt even.
Right, the trapped self feeling judged.
Exactly. So her solution, Sasha Fierce.
Sasha Fierce.
Sasha Fierce was the one who embraced being the provocateur. She basically protected Beyonce's core self from all that internal conflict. Beyonce herself said Sasha would take over and, quote, protect me and who I really am.
Wow. That transition from Beyonce's conflict to creating Sasha Fierce, that's actually a perfect bridge to another story in the book, Anthony, the young basketball player. He needed an alter ego because of a really deep internal conflict, but his stemmed from external pain.
Yeah, Anthony's story is powerful. He had the skills, no doubt. But he would just choke in big games, moments of impact.
Why? What was happening?
He was basically shunning the spotlight. And Herman figured out that the pressure on the court, the spotlight, was triggering trauma he felt after his parents passed away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, specifically remembering the fighting and criticism that happened around that time. So the spotlight felt like this huge, existential threat to him.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
So how did the alter ego help him?
Well, Herman suggested they literally leave Anthony on the sidelines.
Okay.
So Anthony started looking for something that embodied silence, speed, power, qualities he needed on the court. He landed on the Black Panther.
The Black Panther, known as the ghost of the forest, right?
Exactly. So his alter ego became the Black Ghost.
The Black Ghost, I like it.
And it worked. It allowed him to dominate on the court without being paralyzed by that stage fright, that fear of criticism.
And to actually activate that identity, the Black Ghost, he needed something physical, right? This is the totem or artifact idea.
Yes, exactly. The physical switch. Anthony could use maybe a specific wristband, or maybe even just lacing up specific shoes could be the trigger to step into the identity of the Black Ghost.
So that highlights the power of having a symbolic thing. It makes the imaginative shift feel, more real, tangible.
Absolutely tangible. And this isn't just some quirky idea. It's actually backed by science.
Okay.
It's called enclothed cognition.
Enclosed cognition. Okay, tell me more.
Think about Martin Luther King Jr. Herman mentions this. He had perfect vision, apparently.
Really?
Yeah, but he often wore glasses, especially when speaking. Why? Because he felt they made him look more distinguished.
Ah, so the glasses symbolize something to him.
Exactly. And the research confirms this. Wearing an item combined with its symbolic meaning can actually change your behavior and performance.
Okay, but wait, I can put on a special ring or a fancy new blazer, but that doesn't just instantly make me, smarter or more confident. How does the symbolic meaning get, hardwired?
Good question. That's where the intention comes in. It's not magic.
Right.
Research found, for example, wearing a doctor's coat only improved people's attention and accuracy if they were told it was a doctor's coat, symbolizing medical authority, intelligence, care, whatever. If they were told the exact same coat was just a painter's smock, no change in performance.
So the story you attach to the totem is everything.
It's critical. The totem is only powerful if you consciously load it with the definition, the meaning, the power of your heroic self. Herman himself talks about using prescription-free glasses as his totem when he was launching his business.
Why glasses for him?
To embody the traits he needed then. The serious, strategic thinker. The glasses helped him step into that role.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, so the object serves as the compass, pointing you towards those desired traits.
You got it.
So for anyone listening who's thinking, okay, I want to build my own compass, my own alter ego, Herman provides a really practical 4-step process. Let's walk through that framework.
Okay, let's do it. Step 1, identify the field of play, the arena.
The arena.
Basically, where do you need this most? Where are you consistently underperforming or, letting that trapped self take the wheel? And it needs to be specific.
Not just at work, but maybe during presentations at work.
That's exactly. Or business negotiations, public speaking, maybe even your home life. The book mentions an executive, John, a real powerhouse at work, who realized he actually needed an alter ego at home to be a better, more patient father and husband. So the arena can be anywhere.
Okay, specific arena. Got it. Step 2.
Step 2, define the superpowers. the qualities you need.
Superpowers.
What abilities, what characteristics are required in that specific arena. Don't ask what traits you think you have now. Ask what traits are absolutely necessary for success there.
Like being decisive, or magnetic, focused, relentless, calm, that kind of thing.
Precisely. And look around. Look at historical figures, animals, fictional characters you admire. Borrow those characteristics. What do they embody that you need?
Okay, borrowing traits makes sense. What's step 3?
Step 3, name an origin story. Now, this one is maybe the most emotionally potent step.
Name and story. Why so important?
Because the name and the story you create for your alter ego, they have to resonate deeply with you emotionally. This narrative, this story, it provides the fuel for your heroic self to actually stand up to the enemy.
The enemy being that inner critic, the doubt.
Exactly, that voice inside. The origin story is like the history of your shield, why it's strong. Herman gives an example of an entrepreneur whose alter ego was Catracho Sparrow.
Catracho Sparrow. Interesting name.
It was rooted deep in his Honduran spearfishing heritage. So that name instantly embodied, for him, the courage and fearlessness needed when you're in deep water facing challenges. That emotional depth helps override the purely logical, fearful reaction.
So the story isn't just like a fun add-on, it's the psychological ammunition against that voice saying, you can't do this or you're gonna fail.
Exactly right. The narrative defines the mission, the purpose.
Oh.
And finally, step 4.
Step 4.
Choose an activation totem.
Your artifact.
The physical trigger we talked about. Yes. A physical item. Needs to be symbolic to you. Something you can physically put on or take off. That part's important. It creates a clear boundary.
Like glasses, a watch, a specific necklace.
Could be. Or even the scent of a particular cologne, a specific pen you use only for certain tasks. Anything that acts as that clear physical switch.
So that totem becomes the tangible link, bridging your imagination to the physical world, setting your internal GPS for those heroic self traits.
Yep. You put it on, heroic self is activated, you take it off, you return to the ordinary world, back to your core self.
It's a clear transition.
And ultimately, the alter ego, it's really about consciously, intentionally choosing to bring forward the best version of your core self when it counts. It's about identity change.
Which is powerful.
Which, psychologically speaking, is way more effective than just trying to use self-discipline when you're tackling deep-seated fear or doubt.
So when you really commit to this new identity, you kind of cross the threshold, right? Like in the hero's journey idea. You leave that ordinary world behind and step into your adventure, your challenge.
That's a great way to put it.
But that commitment, stepping across that threshold, it needs some serious fuel, doesn't it? The book mentions that all these heroic missions, these alter egos, are driven by one of 4 core emotional motivators.
That's right. Trauma, destiny, altruism, or self-expression. Those are the big drivers.
And that motivation, that's the real X factor, isn't it? It's the driving why, something a coach can't just give you.
Absolutely. The research is clear. Emotion, not just intellect, is what truly drives mission and action. It's the fuel in the tank.
So, since your alter ego is really unlocked by tapping into a mission, and that mission is driven by some profound emotion, I guess I want to leave you, the listener, with this question to think about maybe long after this deep dive is over. When you define your heroic self, what emotional drive, your ultimate why will you use to fuel your mission in the extraordinary world?
Find that fuel, define your rules of engagement, and you really will find your power.
Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.